Boston's North End, January 1919. Rising over the rooftops, a cast-iron storage tank, 50 feet tall, holding over 2 million gallons of molasses. The tank had, in fact, been leaking almost since the day it was filled. Local children used to collect the drips in cups. Nobody thought to mention this to the company that owned it. On the afternoon of January 15th, the tank gave way. Not with a crack, witnesses said, but with a sound like machine gun fire, rivets popping down the length of the street. What followed was a wave of molasses some 25 feet high, moving at an estimated 35 miles per hour, faster, notably, than most people can run. It tore buildings from their foundations. It lifted a train car clean off its tracks. It moved, according to later engineering analysis, less like a liquid and more like a wall. 21 people were killed.
Hundreds more were injured. This part of the story deserves no irony. The cleanup took months. Rescue workers waded through molasses to reach survivors, and cleanup crews tracked it across the city for weeks afterward. Locals maintained for decades that on a hot summer day you could still catch the smell. An investigation followed. The company's own engineers offered a defense that has not aged well. They proposed, with apparent sincerity, that the tank had been blown up by anarchists. A court-appointed auditor concluded otherwise. The tank, it turned out, had simply been built too thin, tested inadequately, and never once inspected after it was filled. The company was ordered to pay damages, in today's terms several $1 million, in what became one of the first cases in American law to establish that a company could be held liable for building something recklessly. Decades later, engineers revisited the physics of the disaster and found something the original builders had never accounted for. Cold molasses becomes dramatically more viscous